Beam me up, Scotty.
Scotty, beam me up.
There may be a Kirk on his way to Chiefs Kingdom.
I just can't do it, Captain. I don't have the power.
Is Samaje Perine on the trade block? One sports writer thinks so, and we got some big Justin Reid news. We're all chiefed up, and we're back with another podcast for that ass.
Just a reminder, this video is powered by BetUs. Before we get the show started, do your boys a favor, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Mike, let's break this thing down.
You're listening to All Chiefed Up.
With the surgery on Rice's knee correcting his LCL, the shift on conversation for the Chiefs bye week is whether or not Brett Veach and the Chiefs make a move for a wide receiver or stay with what they have. Adam Schefter of ESPN had reported that the Chiefs were going to use their Monday Night Football game versus the Saints to audition some pass catchers to see if they needed to go outside the organization or not. The team used a plethora of 12, 13, and even 14 personnel packages involving their tight ends, even using recently acquired Jody Fortson. But did the Chiefs' offense look good enough? Did the guys getting chances do enough? Even if they did, do the Chiefs still need to find Mahomes a weapon now that his number 1 and number 2 wide receivers are out? Recently, NFL insider Diana Russini of The Athletic identified a new veteran trade candidate for the Chiefs, and this player could fit into the Rice role pretty perfectly. With the Jacksonville Jaguars now sitting at a surprising 1-4 record, Russini told readers that she is keeping an eye on former second-round talent Christian Kirk as a good option for KC, especially if the Jags just keep on losing. Kirk isn't quite as strong after the catch as Rashee Rice, but he is more of a possession receiver that has racked up 75-plus receptions twice throughout his career. From 2018 to 2023, Kirk's yards after catch average has hovered just over 4.1 yards, while Rice has a dynamic yak average above 8 yards over his first year and change. Still, Kirk has put together a strong pro career, with over 5,000 total receiving yards split between the Cardinals and Jaguars. That includes the playoffs. His best season came in 2022, his first season in Jacksonville, in which he topped 1,100 yards and 80-plus receptions with 8 touchdowns and 55 first downs. The 28-year-old Kirk is under contract through 2025, which could help if Rice is either suspended for the first 6 to 8 games next season or still recovering from that knee injury. Having said that, the Jaguars would most likely have to help take on a portion of his $24+ million cap hit in 24 and 2025. Russini isn't the only NFL mind that has highlighted Kirk to the Chiefs. During a recent Washington Post article, insider Jason La Canfora quoted an anonymous NFL GM while discussing the Chiefs. "They're going to add a receiver before the deadline for sure," said the GM. Before predicting that, "I think it's going to be Christian Kirk." He goes on to say Kirk just looks like an Andy Reid receiver. He really fits what they do. Per La Canfora, the Jags are telling teams interested in Kirk that they have not given up on their season just yet and want to keep as many weapons as possible around newly minted $55 million per season quarterback Trevor Lawrence. It goes without saying that Kansas City would likely only pursue a bigger name like Christian Kirk if Rashee Rice were actually done for the season, and we now know that he is indeed done for the year. Suitors like the Chiefs would take on a prorated portion of Kirk's $14.5 million salary for the season in a deal. That figure could become manageable closer to the trade deadline in particular, but it remains to be seen if the Jags will authorize deals that would send Trevor Lawrence's number 1 target to an AFC powerhouse. Christian Kirk to Kansas City rumors don't stop with Russini and La Canfora. NFL analyst ESPN's Ben Solak believes that Jacksonville Jaguars wide receiver Christian Kirk would be an option for Kansas City. He said, quote, "I think the Chiefs should and will add a receiver at the deadline, but which one? I would be looking for a sure-handed wide receiver who can line up everywhere and move the sticks. That's who the Chiefs, with their league-low depth of target, need to make this patient offense work. As such, Kirk should be one of their first options. He has a great feel for routes and space, so he'd work well with Mahomes early on. And he still has more downfield juice than he's given credit for at 28 years old. If Brian Thomas Jr. continues to emerge for the Jaguars, I think either Kirk or tight end Evan Ingram will be on the move for the Jags. Kirk would be a fantastic fit for Kansas City, as he can fill just about any role needed. Kirk can operate out of the slot, out wide, and he has enough juice in his legs to offer superstar quarterback Patrick Mahomes a downfield threat. Adding to that, Kirk would offer a multi-year solution at the position for the Chiefs as he's under contract through 2025. Giving up Sky Moore wouldn't really be an issue for Kansas City, as he's been a ghost so far this season with 0 catches on only 2 targets. If this option does become available for the Chiefs, Brett Veach should be all over it. Do you think the Chiefs make a trade for a wide receiver? If so, who? Let us know in the comments below.
Besides a wide receiver trade, KCKingdom.com's Jovan Alford releases 3 things that the Chiefs need to do during their bye week period. And number 1 on that list may surprise you. Alford suggests that the Chiefs need to shop one of their running backs because with the return of Clyde Edwards-Helaire and the emergence of Kareem Hunt looking like his former self, it's just too crowded, and they need to make room as well for the return of Isaiah Pacheco. He makes the claim that Carson Steele would be snatched up in a second if he hits the practice squad, and so would Samaje Perine. So, his answer is to shop Samaje Perine and get some sort of draft capital in return. Now this seems great in theory, but we all know that the return of Clyde Edwards-Helaire does little to move the needle, and let's be honest, with CEH and his injury history, his return could be very short-lived. But if we just indulge in the hypothetical that he returns and plays injury-free football for the rest of the season, is it still smart to move an experienced running back like Perine? Well, so far Perine has been pretty non-existent in the Chiefs' offensive attack, and we've stated recently that this bye week will be big for him moving forward and trying to get him implemented into the offense. I think we can all agree that even though Carson Steele has had a touch of fumbleitis and made some boneheaded rookie mistakes, he is, after all, still just a rookie. But his future looks bright, and in no world would we want to give up on him after 5 games. So yes, for us, he would be off limits in possible trade scenarios. That leaves Clyde and Perine, and they're both on 1-year deals. CEH has an injury history, and Perine just can't seem to get involved. So at the end of the day, yes, the Chiefs would probably consider trading Perine over Edwards-Helaire. Also, CEH has no real value on the trade market. So although most probably think we should trade him, unless you need a sock with a couple of holes in it, you're probably not getting much in return. So, let us know what you guys would do down in the comments. Would you trade Samaje Perine for draft capital, or would you stand pat and just keep 5 running backs?
We want to give a shout out to Chiefs safety Justin Reid. Reid's girlfriend Marissa Rand broke some big personal news at the Monday Night Football game at Arrowhead Stadium. On Tuesday, Rand and Reid posted photos to their Instagram account showing Rand holding up a homemade sign at the game that read, "Justin, I'm pregnant. I heard Super Bowl babies are God's favorite." Rand wrote these on the photos. Can you guess the gender? She included a red heart emoji with a blue arrow through it.
So congrats to Justin and Marissa. Now let's take a second to shout out the sponsor of today's video, BetUs. Head over to BetUs.com and check out what they have going on. Right now, if you use the code YouTube150, you get a 150% deposit bonus match on your first deposit. And then on your next 2 deposits, you get 125%. These are up to $2,000. So take advantage of all the free plays you can make with those deposit matches. The site's super easy to use, and there's plenty of props on there too. So go to BetUS.com and use the promo code YouTube150 to let them know All Chiefed Up sent you.
And that's going to wrap it up for today. Thanks for liking, subscribing, clicking that bell. Go Chiefs.